This takes place during our vacation to New Orleans. It isn't exactly a horror story, but it gives us the chills to this day. My girlfriend and I had found a dirt cheap flight and a hotel package to New Orleans, so we decided to book. We both love that city, so going there for $150 round trip for both was too good to miss. Our vacation was planned for 4 days, but we had so much fun we decided to look up the possibility of staying one more day. With our luck still going strong, I found another deal online. We were able to exchange our flight for the next day, and we found a hotel room for $50 that was just across the street. We had another great night and headed in around 2 AM. Knowing we had a flight, we didn't party as hard the night before. We both woke up at 7 AM and decided to explore the city one last time before heading to the airport. We decided to go to the hotel and check out and find a taxi. The one thing that I had forgot with exchanging my ticket is that there was no longer a package and I wouldn't have a car to drive us to the airport. My girlfriend was upset because she told me we should have done this the night before, but I assured her that we would be able to get one with no problem. I couldn't imagine it taking us more than 10 minutes to find a taxi. We checked out of the hotel and stood on the street corner with our luggage. I called for an Uber while at the same time trying to flag down a taxi. About 15 minutes go by and I still have no luck. I start to panic a little because I realise we're against the clock and I don't want to end up stranded across the country with no money and no hotel room. After about 30 minutes, we walk to a different part of the city because we aren't having any luck here. I then see a minivan make a U-turn and stop in front of us. "You need a ride, big brother?" the man said. He was a young African American, about 30 years old. He didn't look like a creep or a homeless guy. I said, "Yes, where's your Uber card? I don't see it on your back window." The man pulls out an Uber decal from the compartment in his door and shows me. It was very odd that he didn't have it on the window, but it looked genuine, so it may have just fallen off. I said I would sign into Uber so it's accounted for. He said there's no need for that, his reason being that Uber takes 35%. That was a red flag right away, but at the same time I understood. At this time, my girlfriend is thinking this is the Uber I scheduled. I take a look at my watch and I notice it's after 10 AM. Our flight takes off at 11:15. The airport is 30 minutes away. I look at my phone and there is still no Uber driver in sight of us. I made the decision to get in and close the door. I started to ask about how much it will cost us, and before I could get 2 words out, the man says, "Airport, right? $40. The rate wasn't far off either. The taxi that drove us into the city was $35. So I was banking on a difference of $5. We started driving through downtown towards the freeway. And I'm really in a state of mind that this is just a guy trying to make an honest dollar under the table. I see the sign that prompts us to get in the right lane to enter the entrance ramp. We transition to the right lane and pause at a red light. I feel the car vibrate as soon as the light turns green, but I notice we veer to the right, avoiding the freeway. I said to the driver, "Hey man, we need to take the freeway right to get to the airport." "Shortcut, big brother. Don't worry, I'm born and raised. I know where I'm going." At this point, I text my girlfriend, telling her I think I've made a major mistake. I start analysing the situation and his motives. I concluded 3 scenarios. 1, he was going to charge us something absurd, like $100. 2, he was going to use our credit card when we paid, and then use my details in some sort of fraud. Or 3, he was just going to flat out rob us. I'm looking at the man when I notice a holster on his hip. I didn't directly see a firearm, but you don't see many people with an empty holster just for style. I was sitting in the right seat, behind the front passenger. My girlfriend was on the left. I didn't want to make it obvious that we were texting. I knew he could see my phone. I sent a text to a group chat I'm in and told them what was going on. They were 2,000 miles away, but I wanted to at least let someone know of the situation. I opened Google Maps and started tracking our direction. We continued driving, and I see through my app that we should be within 10 minutes of the airport, but we're not really going the best route. My girlfriend makes a genius decision, something that probably kept us out of real trouble. She tells the driver, my credit card has a lot of disputes down here, and I'm down to my last $40. I see a bank down the road. Can we stop so I can withdraw? I see the man's eyes furrow, and he mumbles something to himself. Then I tell the man my Uber card is through Apple Pay. I don't physically have the card, so yeah, we're gonna need to stop. The driver agrees and pulls over, but on the other side of a parking lot. It was daytime, but this parking lot was out of sight of the main road, and towards the windowless side of the bank. I tell the man there's a drive-through ATM, but he tells us that his minivan won't fit and she can just go in. I tell my girlfriend to go in and make the withdrawal. She steps out and walks casually towards the bank. The man still has his keys in the ignition and the car in drive. I asked the man if it's okay to smoke a cigarette in his car. I told him I needed one before the flight and wouldn't have time outside the airport. He looks and says no problem. I handed him one also out of courtesy. I then started to open the door and he snaps his neck around in my direction and asks what I am doing. I tell the man I'm also allergic, so I need to either open the door or I need to step outside. I can tell his thoughts are racing. I swing open the door and begin to take a few drags. I see an opening. I pass the man my lighter, but I purposely drop it as soon as it hits his fingertips. I take a huge drag and blow the smoke inside the van. Then I grab both bags, jump out the van and start running towards the bank, which is maybe 50 feet away. I start yelling, "Robbery! Robbery!" The man had not taken anything from me, but this was the first thing that popped into my mind that would draw attention. I get to the bank and my girlfriend sees me and runs towards me. We charge inside the bank, standing in between the double doors while I catch my breath. I see the security guard walking sternly towards us, probably expecting trouble. We explain the situation, and a nice old couple offers to drive us the remaining 10 minutes. It might not have been the smartest thing to do, to hop back into another stranger's car, but they looked trustworthy. As we left, I overheard someone saying tourists get hit with a lot of Uber scams. Apparently, this is one of the biggest scams going on, where people will pose as Uber drivers and will demand hundreds of dollars before eventually being dropped off at a secluded place. We got to the airport and gave the couple $40, which I had to literally throw in their car because they refused to take it. We flew home with all our bags, a great vacation, and a wake-up call about trusting strangers.